Yo, what's up, guys? C-Jax back with another Raw review, and surprise, surprise, as I predicted, this episode was bad, it was garbage, and it was boring. Now, last week, I actually thought that Raw was average. I thought it was decent, right? But I said at the end of that video, I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to give us back-to-back even 5 or 6 out of 10 level, shows of Raw. And they just couldn't do it. They couldn't give us a 6 out of 10 this week because it was just boring and it was nonsensical. The first match of the show was actually decent. This is a decent street match, but I can't sit here and ignore the multiple plot holes and problems with this match. What did it have good spots like Eric Rowan looking like the strongest person in the entire match, and he looked honestly better than Chad Gable did in this match as well, because Chad Gable was booked to do absolutely nearly nothing in this match except for one German suplex on the barricade. Other than that, Eric Rowan lifted up a barricade piece and hit people with it. He got put through a table. Ivy Nile used like the fire extinguisher. Nikki Cross had some pretty cool spots as well with the German suplex where Chad Gable clearly launched himself up in the air. Like it was very obvious, but it was a cool spot. I'll give him that. And then, there was a couple other things. Dexter Lumis had a couple cool high-flying moves, and the Creed brothers looked pretty cool as well. But other than that, you just have to look at the plot holes. Uncle Howdy is sitting in a chair while the Uncle Howdy, the Wyatt Six, the Wyatt family, is sitting there getting absolutely outnumbered, right? Because there was a point in the match, Eric Rowan gets trapped under a bunch of debris, like chairs and tables and stuff like that, and it's a 3v2 with the American-made dudes versus the dudes from the Wyatt Six, right? Because I think, Eric Rowan was down and then Nikki Cross the girl, all that other stuff. And while it's a 3v2, Uncle Howdy is sitting in the chair doing absolutely nothing while this is going on. This dude is supposed to be the leader of the group, the same dude who pinned Chad Gable in like 10 minutes like a week or two ago on Raw. And he's sitting in a chair while there's an outnumbered thing going on with his group in the ring. It makes no sense when you think about it logically. Then another problem with this match, why is Chad Gable getting pinned by Dexter Lumis? What? In what world is a guy that was doing great work as a heel, was starting to get over with the crowd as a bad guy, and also was putting on good matches with Sami Zayn and doing a good feud with him and Otis? How in the world does this dude go from that literally 3 or 4 months ago to now being a jobber who gets pinned by Dexter Lumis and Bo Dallas? This is unacceptable. There's no other way to explain it, man. And for Chad Gable to barely have any cool offense in this match is just stupid. So I'm done with the Wyatt Six. I've been done with them for about a month or two now, but this just put the nail in the coffin for Chad Gable, and Chad Gable is now officially back to being a full-blown jobber. And I forgot to talk about this in the initial recording for this video, but Jade Cargill and Bianca won their championship rematch versus the Unholy Union and, what's their names? Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, that's their names. Yeah, they won this match and retained their titles, and again, nobody cares. It's the revolving door of the women's tag division, man. They fight the same people pretty much every single week, and it just gets boring and drawn out, just like 90% of these other stories are boring and drawn out at this point. But they're going to keep pushing it because the women's division is garbage and they have no good tag teams. No tag teams really at all. So, we're going to probably see this match again on SmackDown in like 2 or 3 weeks. So, get ready, guys. This match was mid and nobody cared. And then you have this Finn Balor promo in this Judgment Day segment, which this is going to take at least 2 or 3 minutes of the video because I'm just going to talk about everything that happened with the Judgment Day in this episode because it took up a good portion of the show and it was absolute nonsense and garbage. Finn Balor comes out here and cuts one of the worst promos I've ever seen in recent history, outside of like Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes, because they cut bad promos pretty much every week. But anyways, Finn Balor basically goes on the mic and says, Damian, it was you who ruined the Judgment Day. It was you. It was you. It was you. You held me down. It was you. It's the same stuff Finn Balor said in the backstage promo like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the week after that, and the week after that. It's the same stuff. Why is it that no one in the WWE can cut a promo? As much as you love Rhea Ripley, she cannot cut a promo. As much as you love Liv Morgan, well, actually, I won't say Rhea Ripley can't cut a promo because she's cut like a couple good promos. I'll give her that. But there's no way that Rhea Ripley is reliable for cutting a good promo. She doesn't do it. It rarely happens. You can count on your finger how many good promos she's cut, and she's been around for like 5 or 6 years. It's unbelievable. Then you have Liv Morgan, who's your World Heavyweight Champion for the women's division, and she has cut no good promos, arguably in her entire career. This is unbelievable. Damian Priest is champion, no good promos. Cody Rhodes is champion, no good promos. Why is it that no one can cut a promo? Promos are huge because the Judgment Day is inconsistently booked, right? So you have all 5 of them are getting getting destroyed by 2 people with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. They get destroyed like pretty much every single week, right? But somehow, some way, we're supposed to believe that there's some big bad group, but they keep losing to a group of 2 people when there's 5 of them. It's dumb. So the only way you can make a story like this believable and intriguing is if you give it good build-up, good storytelling, and good promo and character work. And is Finn Balor believable on the mic? No. Is he believable as a strong heel anymore? No. Is Liv Morgan believable as a strong heel? No. So what exactly is the point of this? You can't do anything if you can't cut promos. And the Judgment Day is full of just bad promos in mediocre segments, and it's the same stuff. Oh, you beat us up, we're going to beat you up. Oh, you beat us up, we're going to beat you up. It's the same stupid stuff. It's dumb. If John Cena and Triple H or John Cena and Randy Orton had a feud, like when I was growing up and I was watching like 2008 or 2009, if Cena and Orton had a feud, they would make it engaging and interesting. Cena would go out in the ring and he would cut an amazing promo like he always does, and then Orton would come out there and cut a good promo in a very vicious and villainous promo, and then he'd do a vicious and villainous attack that actually made you believe this dude is a legitimate threat. And he was. He beat Cena a couple times for championships, right? So this is just basic knowledge of how you build feuds. But WWE doesn't have superstars of that quality, and they definitely don't have the promo workers, and they don't have the booking to make these attacks seem believable and consistent. John Cena getting the upper hand on Raw at the end of an attack versus like Orton and Legacy was very rare back then. Now it's not rare to see the baby faces pretty much destroy the heels no matter how strong they're quote-unquote supposed to be. It's dumb. You really think John Cena would be able to beat a 1v4 or 1v3 Legacy back in the day? Of course he wouldn't be able to do that. He didn't do it. He needed help from like Triple H or DX or someone to help out at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like a Jeff Hardy or something. He never just 1v3'd or 1v4 people, at least on a consistent basis, like Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest 2v5 the Judgment Day every week. This is dumb, and this is the main storyline and plot point of this entire Raw. You have Finn Balor go out later the same night, and before I get to that, Jey Uso for some reason waits till Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are destroyed in the middle of the ring to finally help them, which that makes no sense, Oos. How about that, Oos? Yeet. Sit down, man. By the way, Jey Uso was in the only good match of the night, by the way, later on the night, but we'll get to that later. And then Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. No one cares about this match. Finn Balor, quote-unquote, beats up Rey Mysterio by drop-kicking him twice. I'm like, is that all it takes? This dude's Rey Mysterio's a Hall of Famer, and all it takes is 2 drop kicks and a kick to the knee, and now he's just out forever? Like, what? This is just stupid. So this match means absolutely nothing. They try and make Finn Balor be like some believable heel because he's beating up a legend like Rey Mysterio, and it just doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, I don't care, you don't care, no one cares. Then you get to the Bret Hart and Gunther promo. This is actually a pretty fun promo, honestly. This was pretty funny up until Sami Zayn came out. But before that happened, Gunther was basically saying, like, you know, Bret Hart, you were the best there was, but I'm the best there is and the best there will be. That was a very good line and good wordplay from Gunther. I'll give him that. And then after that, he basically says his favorite wrestler is Goldberg, which Bret Hart and Goldberg have beef in real life, so that was pretty cool to see them, visit that a little bit in a sense, or where Gunther's making jokes about liking Goldberg. I thought that was funny. I actually laughed at it when I saw it, like, live, but that was cool. And then Sammy shows up, and it turns into this, oh, I'm a good guy, I'm a baby face, Bret Hart's a legend, he's this, he's that, this city loves him, I love him, I respect you, I know you, I need you. Oh, what do you want to talk about? Like, it's the same promo. Like I said earlier in this video, 90% of the stuff that boils down on shows is related to promos and storytelling, which just doesn't exist in modern day wrestling right now, at least to the extent that it used to. The only good storytellers, you can count them on your fingers. I won't even go through it because you already know who they are, and there's maybe 5 at best in the current company. Anyways, this promo was mid. Sami Zayn goes out and punches Gunther a couple times, and that's pretty much it. There's really nothing to really say about this promo in this segment because nothing happens on Raw. Then you get Miz, Xavier Woods, and Karrion Kross backstage. Again, no one cares about this. Why does Karrion Kross have a job, and why does Bobby Lashley not? That's the question that I'm going to use to sum up every Karrion Kross match or segment until he actually does something good and important. Xavier Woods and Miz, they're jobbers. At this point, they're jobbers. There's nothing else to really say about it. We're moving on. Natalya returns, and they fought the Pure Fusion Collective. Again, I do not care. And by the way, going back to Miz and Xavier Woods and Karrion Kross's promo, how in the world are we actually sitting here and believing what Karrion Kross is saying about, Miz, your career's in a rut right now? Karrion Kross, your career's been a rut since you entered the main roster. You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything. The Miz's career's in a rut. Are you kidding me? Karrion Kross, has he ever even won a singles championship on the main roster? Like, stop. This dude's a jobber talking about your career's in a rut. No, your career's in a rut, and you're probably going to get fired in 2 months. Which, by the way, guys, Raw is going to be 2 hours starting on October 7th. So, yeah, man, just want to put that out there. I mean, obviously, people are going to say things like, oh, well, there's too much talent for a 3-hour show. They're a 2-hour show, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. This company does not have enough talent for even a 1-hour show at this point. So stop. Then you also have Braun Breaker going backstage and pretty much just laughing at everybody, which, whatever at this point. It was pretty funny when it was happening. Like, he had different backstage segments with all of the Intercontinental title, like, all the competitors in it, and he was just laughing at them backstage, which was honestly kind of funny. Then you get Drew McIntyre, comes out, and basically we have an announcement, guys. Drew vs. Punk is going to happen at Hell in a Cell in Bad Blood, man. So in about 4 weeks of the PLE, that's probably what's going to main event the show. And that's going to be the big match of the night. Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, Punk. And honestly, I'm tired of this feud. So I'm actually glad this is ending. My only problem is, why is Adam Pearce the guy to tell us this? When CM Punk is quote-unquote going to return next week on Raw, why is Adam Pearce telling us this tonight? Punk takes a week off, and we're supposed to just believe that, oh, he was beat up, man, he's going to retire. Punk got beat bad. Like, no, he didn't. He could have easily showed up tonight, but wrestlers don't show up to work anymore, and they haven't earned the right to do that. Roman Reigns not showing up to work is completely different from, like, Cody Rhodes not showing up to work, or, like, man, who's an example of this? Like, CM Punk not showing up to work is unacceptable. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, guys like that, helped revive the company in the state of COVID when it sucked. And they actually have generated millions of dollars for this company over the last decade. What has CM Punk generated for this company over the last decade besides friction, arguments, and pointless debates? That's all he's done. That's it. So why in the world is he getting the right to take a week or two off here and there like he's done something? He's done nothing. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are going to overall have a bigger impact on the WWE when they're said and done and they're retired. And it won't be close. So stop. When Seth Rollins feuds with CM Punk, I am 100% rooting for Seth Rollins. I don't care what CM Punk says, I am 100% rooting for Seth Rollins. Because I loved CM Punk growing up. And that was when he was in his prime, like in the late 2000s and, early first part of the 2010s of the WWE. He was amazing. And Punk all time is still obviously awesome and great. But this stuff that he's pulling, where he's taking like 2 or 3 week breaks and he doesn't even wrestle, this is stupid. You have 2 matches in 1 year since your return, and you're taking 2 or 3 week breaks. This is dumb. And it's undeserved and unearned. So I'm glad this Drew and McIntyre and Punk feud is done, because this is just boring. It's dragged on long enough, and I don't care anymore. And then the main event is going to be a fatal 4-way match with by the way, Drew McIntyre was like talking to Wade Barrett during his promo, which makes no sense again, because why is he arguing with Wade Barrett? He has absolutely no reason to be doing so, but he's doing it anyway, so whatever. Anyways, the main event of the night, fatal 4-way. It was a match. This match was actually pretty decent, I'll say that much. The last 5 to 10 minutes, though, were awesome. Bronson Reed returns and puts Braun Strowman through a table, which was unexpected, and he literally popped out of nowhere in the camera frame. It was really sick. It was awesome table spot. I thought that was epic. Then you also have, after this, Jey Uso and Ilya Dragunov carry this actual fatal 4-way match before that Bronson Reed stuff. And even after it, they were clearly the 2 best and most important people in the entire match. And they did a very good job with this. There was spears, there was a midair super kick that I thought was sweet. Ilya Dragunov still oversells every move and acts like he's about to die, which is getting annoying at this point, but he is a very good wrestler, I'll say that much. And him and Jey Uso did a good job. Jey hits the spear. He came in and like super kicked Ilya Dragunov, threw him out of the ring, and then Splash Pete Dunne and won, and that was it. Jey Uso is now going to fight Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not sure if it's going to be at Bad Blood or on an episode of Raw, but whatever happens, happens. This was a pretty good match. I'm honestly I enjoyed this, man. The show at least ended up on a good note. This was fun. It had cool spots, and the star power from Jey Uso kind of carried it in terms of that department, but the actual in-ring work was decent. The spots were cool, and honestly, man, I am excited to see Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. I think this feud can be very interesting, and having Braun come out at the end was pretty cool. USA, the camera feed on the network shut off like right at the end of the show. It didn't even let it get to 11 o'clock, but hey, whatever. That pretty much happened, and that was your Monday Night Raw. Boring, pointless, nonsense. And they promised that the first hour would be commercial free, which the first hour had like 3 or 4 commercials alone, but whatever. It's commercial free allegedly, but it's commercial free, but they're going to have WWE commercials like 3 or 4 times in 30 minutes. So yeah, whatever. Anyways, this was the episode of Raw. It was boring. It was bad. It had a really, really good main event, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when everything else was, for the most part, either a 5 out of 10 quality or even below that. Natalya, I forgot to mention Natalya returned versus the Pure Fusion Collective, but again, nobody cares about that, so let's just be honest here, guys. Nobody cares about that, man, so there you go. Raw sucks. It continues to suck. This week's episode of SmackDown should be an absolute banger, though, and if it's anything less than like a 7 out of 10, I'm going to be disappointed. Remember that, because Roman Reigns should be there, and he should finally be able to actually do something and contribute to the story more than just beating someone up or getting beaten up. So I'm excited for that. Let me know what you thought about this episode of Raw, and I thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment Chad Jobber. Chad Jobber, ladies and gents. But yeah, have a great day. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.